Good afternoon. Another selection that I am doing today is Everywhere Coquis. I have done this selection in Spanish, and if you haven't seen it yet, this book comes in two languages. All you have to do is flip the book over, okay? Comes in English and Spanish. And this book is by Nancy Hooper. Once upon a time, in the deep, ancient rainforest of Puerto Rico, a tiny coquí lived at the base of a tall palm tree. Although the moon shone through the trees and vines, the air was heavy and still, and the coquí was afraid to be alone. He poked his head up from beneath some leaves and began to sing in a small, timid voice. Coquí, coquí, coquí. He stopped to catch his breath and listen. It was still very quiet. He began to sing it again a little louder this time. Coquí, coquí, coquí. And soon he heard an echoing song coming from the distance. It sounded familiar, just like his own song. Coquí, coquí, coquí. The little coquí smiled. He wasn't afraid anymore. More coquís were coming to keep him company. All the coquís lived quite happily in the rainforest. They slept all day and sang all night, and their numbers grew and grew. Even the little Coquis babies learned to sing their name, Coquis, 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 soon after they were born. All the musical Coquis voices were loud and clear during the dark, tropical nights, but there was one problem. Hundreds of green parrots lived in the same in the same rainforest. And unlike the Coquis, the parrots chattered all day, but slept all night, or tried to. At first the parrots were mystified by the sound they heard at night. Soon they became quite irritated by all the noise. What kind of bird is it, they wondered, that sings all night and sleeps all day? That is so rude. One night the grumpy parrots shouted, Be quiet, birds, go to sleep so we can sleep too. But the Coquis were Coquis and not birds, and they did not understand that the parrots were shouting at them. They kept on singing, Coquis, Coquis, Coquis. Now the parrots really got angry. They swooped down, looking everywhere for a noisy flock of birds. They searched high and low, but no matter where they looked, they never found a single singing bird. But they really frightened the little Coquis, hiding under branches and leaves. They could see the parrot swooping and squawking, so in the middle of the night the terrified Coquis silently hopped as fast as they could out of the rainforest and away from the parrots. The next morning they came to the countryside. They were tired, so they stopped to rest in the garden of a pretty pink house. As they rested, the Coquis watched the man and the woman who lived in the house. They were both artists, and they made typical Puerto Rican crafts. Today they were making vejigante, masks of paper mache to sell at festivals around the island. Sometimes they carved miniature figurines of the saints, called santos. The Coquis enjoyed living in the countryside, and their songs each night were joyful and loud. Unfortunately, the parrots in the nearby rainforest could still hear their singing. Again, the parrots became irritated and searched for the birds who were singing Coquis, Coquis, Coquis all night long. Again, the tiny, frightened Coquis had to hop through the night away from the pink house with its garden and the green parrots swooping and flying all around them. One morning the Coquis stopped to rest in a small town. Delicious cooking aroma filled the air, and the Coquis were fascinated by what they saw. They watched some people cutting big, green, peeled plantains into thick slanted slices and frying them until they were golden brown. Then they mashed each slice in a tostonera making them thin before frying them again to form tostones. Other people were pounding plantains in a pilon to make mofongo. Oh, they look and smell so good. The youngest Coquis watched as the Piragua man shaped the big block of ice in his cart with a raspa. He put the shaved ice into a paper cone and poured sweet, fruity syrup over the ice. It was a delicious cold dessert for young children. The Coquis liked living in a town, and every night they sang the people to sleep with their song. Coquis, coquis, coquis. After a rainfall, they sang especially loud as they drank delicious warm raindrops. Their song could be heard for miles, and their parrots were again awakened at night. Unseen among the grasses and leaves, the Coquis were able to escape from the parrots once more, as they moved them even farther away from the rainforest. Soon they came to a large city and again set up a new home. The city was an exciting place for the Coquis to live. There was lots of food and water for all of them, and they happily sang their song each night. Coquis, coquis, coquis. The city people loved hearing them because they made music too. They played instruments called claves, güiros, maracas, and small guitars called the cuatro. As the city people sang and danced, the Coquis sang along. They enjoyed the city even though they missed the trees and roots and leaves of the rainforest. The city turned out to be the best hiding place of all. With the sound of the city life, the parrots could not hear the Coquis at all. Now the parrots had the rainforest all to themselves. The night was dark and quiet, and yes, very lonely. It was so quiet and lonely that the parrots couldn't sleep in all that silence. They needed the Coquis to come back to sing them to sleep. And so, at daybreak, as tired as they were, the parrots began to search the entire island, calling for the Coquis to come back. When the parrots reached the city, the Coquis were overjoyed to hear of the change of heart. They crept out from under the leaves and the branches and all of their secret hiding place, and when the parrots finally saw them, they were shocked to see hundreds of tiny Coquis instead of birds they thought they were looking for. They apologized over and over again for frightening the tiny Coquis away from their home in the rainforest. The Coquis forgave the parrots for frightening them and had a meeting to decide what to do. Although some Coquis decided to stay in the city and some others returned to town, most of them moved back to the rainforest. Of course, when they came upon the garden of the little pink house again, one or two Coquis families decided to live there. To this day, tiny Coquis live far and wide on the enchanting island of Puerto Rico, and every night their beautiful song is music to the ears of people of every city, town, and country home. Even the parrots of the rainforest can fall asleep to the sweet sound of cookie, cookie, cookie. The end. God bless you.